Hello everyone! It is Monday, it is news recap time, and once again, I've waited till the last minute to make a news recap so I can make sure all of the news I could possibly talk about this week is included, and oh boy, we got some big ones this time. I'm gonna try and get through it as smoothly as possible, which means, expect it to be like 25 minutes or something, but we're going to start off big, and the big news of the week is we got our first leaked look at Legacy Evolution Animated Prowl and our first deluxe Junkion. I think this is probably some of our most anticipated toys in a while. Everyone was kind of figuring out how were they actually going to get animated across with the G1 stylings that they're shooting for in the collector's line right now. And how is a deluxe Junkion going to look and work, especially with the whole combination break apart gimmick. So Prowl first, because that's the big one. Form wise, he does look about what I expected. He is a bulkier version of animated Prowl. Now, unlike Bulkhead, a lot more of his original shapes were retained, which makes me very happy. The kibble extending off of his back, kind of like the war flags a samurai would wear, that works. That's there. He gets to keep his ninja stars from his original toy. That's cool to include. The chest isn't, the right design, unlike Bulkhead. And he's a lot more smooth and round in a lot of places. Now, he's definitely bulkier. And I think the big bit of conversation is that head. Because, yes, that's a very G1 style. That's a very, standard Transformer head. Personally, I would have preferred there's a few design elements that I think are unique to Prowl's head design I would have kept. I do like how they kept his face slender. It's a large helmet, but the silver side part of it does have that slender, long chin look to it. So it actually comes across closer to like Samurai Prowl to me than it does the original. The one thing I think I would have changed would have been just like the size of his head crest, because that does look a little bit too much just like Prowl. So, that really thin one that he had, I think that would have been fine. I think that would have made it look a lot closer. But I'm not too upset over it. It's a lot better. We knew it was going to be G1ified, and that's exactly what it is. But it seems like that's about the worst of the damage as far as Prowl is concerned. The vehicle mode from certain angles looks really, really good. It looks like it retains a lot of how he transformed in the original toy line, which is nice. Really nice to see. Now, from the side, it gets a little bit jank. You see a gap there underneath what would be the motorcycle's fuel tank. I can be okay with that midsection looking a little bit weird because that's the engine block, and that can have similar shapes to that. At least color-wise, it's okay that it stands out. Still a little bit weird. It's not the cleanest motorcycle mode. I think we're all just happy that it isn't just a straight-up remold of RC again. I think that's what a lot of people were afraid of. I think a lot of people are also looking at this and going, look at that chest. That could definitely be Armada Sideways if they wanted to repaint that. And they could. They figure out what to do with his giant antlers in one mode or another. But I do like it. I like it better than RC and Bulkhead and Knockout for that matter. So keep an eye out. We'll see how this develops. We'll see how we get more pictures of it coming up. Our first Junkion. We don't know the name. This is just Junkion 2, and it looks nice. It looks nice. In this mode, he looks very cobbled together from other machines. You can see motorcycle elements on his legs, but on the front, you can see what looks like the front end of a Jeep or a Humvee. It's an interesting little mix. And then in the transformed state, it looks like a Junkion vehicle mode. It's not. We only have the two pictures, which is annoying. But I like the look of it. He's definitely Junkion. He's not one I immediately recognize. So we're diversifying our Junkions. I thought this one was the one that would have a sidecar, which we don't see depicted here. And I just can't help but notice that giant block that makes his chest is completely gone when you get to this mode, so I really don't know what happened to it. So, I don't know. This is definitely an incomplete iteration of this design. You can even see the bar on the side where, I think it looks like something's supposed to plug into him. All right, so keep an eye out. I'm sure someone will leak more complete pictures of this guy soon. We'll get some idea of what it's about and how the whole separation combination gimmick works for him. Moving on. We need to have other in-hand shots. This is Studio Series 100, which isn't really 100, but we're going to pretend it is. It's Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, and yeah, we have in-hand shots of him, showing off some articulation, showing off his detailing. He's very articulated, got to give him credit for that. And I still really like the vehicle mode. I like the off-road take on Bumblebee. I am still not big on that head. It's just missing way too much paint around the face to really convey the movie Bumblebee properly. Also, the arm blade is apparently not painted either, which that I don't agree with. That doesn't look, especially here in these photos, because these are super washed out. Like, there's way too much light going on in here, so you can't even see like how the blade actually looks. Yeah, I mean, as a Bumblebee toy, it looks fine. You know, it looks as okay as any Bumblebee toy in Studio Series has. So, you know, nothing really to say. It's just another Bumblebee toy coming out that really needs another round of paint. If Takara continues the premium series, this is a good candidate for it. All right. How about another leak that's a little bit more interesting? So someone got their hands on this. So apparently they originally thought they were buying a G1 Prowl or G1 Hound, which obviously they are, but it is not chromed and the detailing is different. It's painted differently. There's no stickering on it, which has everyone speculating that this is another retro G1 reissue for Walmart, which would be interesting because Starscream and Hot Rod are based on the '86 movie. Hound has next to no presence in there. What his visibility in the movie barely ranks up there as a cameo. I've never actually owned a Prowl, or why do I keep saying Prowl? I've got Prowl in the brain because of that first story. I've never owned a Hound toy before. I would be interested in getting this as well, if only for the experience of goofing around with a Hound. He always looks so weird with, like, his shoulders are so low set, his arms are so dinky. But I want to experience the toy at least, because it's one of those G1 figures I just never had any exposure to. Not a whole lot on this one. It's just confirmation. There's no chrome, and it's all paint, no sticker. So, yeah, it's absolutely going to be one of the Walmart reissues. The only thing that makes me go, maybe not, maybe there is something fishy about this, are the missiles, because the missiles are way too short to be legally allowable. Unless they took the spring launch out of the launcher, which is what they've done in past reissues. So that's more than likely what's happened here. Oh, yeah. It's okay, never mind. That's definitely what's happened here. I didn't see this photo. Yeah. The launcher is just there for look. All right, so I might pick that up when we get it, if only to see just how oddball that Hound is. All right, Super7 announced Wave 5 of their Ultimates figures, which I just got to experience for the first time, thanks to Entertainment Earth's big Black Friday, like, holiday clearance sale thing. Where, yes, there are still plenty of toys on sale that you can save an extra 10% on if you use my link in the description below. And it also stacks with their free shipping deal if you order at least $39 worth of stuff. See, I'm getting good at these ad reads, so you can't even skip over the beginning, because I could just throw them in wherever. But this one, I'm concerned. I am concerned here. So the Super 7 figures have been super weird because they seem to be dotting in very random characters. Bonsaitron in Wave 1, Trax is getting one. So it's been a really weird, like, ultimate experience when, there's some basic Transformers that don't even have representation in the series yet. And this is their new wave, which is a retooling of their geez, man, my names are way off today. It's new toolings on Starscream and their Megatron with a dying Starscream. It's not even like Ghost Starscream. It's not, like sleep mode Starscream. It is mid-death Starscream. In the middle of decaying Starscream. This is, like, possibly the most morbid Transformer toy I've ever seen. You know, when him screaming in agony as he dies, that's horrible. That is terrible. Why not just make... I mean, they made Emperor Starscream, right? They made Coronation Starscream. So why would they... I guess it's just an easy repaint. I guess that's just it. It's just an easy repaint. I've got the Starscream, the Ghost Starscream. I'm not happy with it. Its head's too big and some of the parts are loose on it. But is what it is. And then a reformatted Megatron, which is, you know, just translucent purple plastic on their typical Megatron release. Tampographed with all of the inner, like the reformatting lines from the movie. It doesn't look right, though. It doesn't look right. I'm not really a fan of how this one came out either. It concerns me because, like, these were on deep clearance on Entertainment Earth, and some still are. Go check the description. It helps the channel. Getting good. But I do know there's a lot of collectors who are not happy with how they turned out, the level of articulation, some oddness with the accessories. Like, my Bombshell cannot hold any of its weapons, because the weapons have, like, straight peg handles, but his hands are anything but. So it's a very, very awkward toy to actually mess with and handle accessories on. So I know a lot aren't happy with it, and when they start going on deep clearance like that, and when you have, like, these super long delays, I think my G2 Megatron got delayed by, like, over a year by now. I really wonder how much trouble this line is in, because this line has potential. It could be, like, the de facto, you know, Transformer action figure ever, but they've got some really bad issues they need to fix, apparently. Yeah, because apparently it just seems like the perception on these is not good. And the fact that the next wave is just 2 repaints with some extra parts has me worried. Alright, so we mentioned this in my last Deathsarus video, but it's worth mentioning for those who keep up with things on the news roundup, which I thank you for using me as a news source. But the Deathsarus campaign did throw in one surprise tier, which is Peepo and Boater, the 2 extra rescue Micromasters from Victory. So it does complete the set. You need to spend $360 to complete the set of Minicons, or Micromasters. Man, my terminology is all over the place today. But you can. They exist. Someone else pointed out to me it's not the only one to get it's not the only full Micromaster team to get a full, like, updated set. There's another one that did it through normal Siege releases. But it's just amusing to me that that team is complete. And it's a really cool thing for Hasbro to throw in as just, like, a surprise thing. I was telling somebody else, like, someone told me, like, oh, man, I wish they announced that as, like, a goal. I'm like, no one was really impressed the last time they announced Micromasters as stretch goals. So I think keeping this one as a secret was probably the right idea, because it makes, like, a nice little, like, thank you surprise, rather than just, like, you really want 3,000 more sales just to get those 2? So good on Hasbro. I think this was well done, and it's a very pleasant inclusion. All right. We have some more imageries from the Heavy Metal War game from Niantic that got canceled, but it does show us an interesting glimpse at the intended game. This one including a lot of Minicons that were going to be involved in the game. I like the one at the very bottom here that looks like just Wheeljack's head on a set of spider legs. Yeah, so some of these designs are a little bit amusing, but we also have some cast designs that we hadn't seen before that I think are fun and worth going through. You know, see a color Devastator there at the bottom. I don't know why he's so much smaller than everybody else. But yeah, the artwork for this has actually looked really, really nice so far. Really like what they were coming up with. New Mutiny, which I guess explains why there was no Megatron in these shots, because apparently he wasn't going to be in Season 1. Save that one for later. We have a look at RC, who, just like a lot of her toys, is already pre-yellowed. But at least it's a different look for RC. The pink is much redder. We've added in some of this, like, pale brown copper color. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. See Jazz in full color with these, like, I don't know why he's got so much sass to his hips there, but he does. And we get a ton of Micromaster designs. I'm not going to... or Minicon designs. See what I'm doing? See what I'm doing? I'm not going to stick to everything, though. Here was the interesting thing. We get to see Roulette and Shadow Striker's character models And what surprised me is that both are Decepticons. Usually it's Shadow Striker as the Decepticon, Roulette's the Autobot. So both of them went villain in this franchise, in this particular series. Roulette, always worth the risk. You probably can't even see that after my screen shrinks it down, but it's a little notation under her name. She looks good though. I really like the glow up on her. All right, Starscream, the Transformers, Decepticon Air Commander, and the deadliest of the Seekers. All right, so typical character fluff stuff. Where is Shadow Striker? Because we have Soundwave. He got to be a cassette player again. Slipstream. I'm just trying to read it very quickly to see if there's anything of note. Doesn't mention being like Starscream's clone or wondering what she's all about. There's Shadow Striker. It's a shame because there's a lot of really good design work. A return of Minicons would have been fun, and some of these are just super oddball fun designs. It's just a shame that, you know, this did not work out, because this could have been fun. There's definite like potential amongst all of this. So I'll let you go look through all the Minicons for yourself, because there's a ton of them. But yeah, we missed out on something. I hope those designs don't just get like shoveled away forever, because there's some good work in there. All right, speaking of games that we thought were canceled, let's talk Transformers Reactivate a little bit. So we have a few super blurry screenshots. It basically just confirms like where the HUD is, what your perspective on the game is going to be. It's from 2 years old, so no telling what splash damage has actually changed to the game since they took it over. But we do see one HUD shot that shows Ratchet and Cyclops. Wow. I didn't sleep well last night. Can you tell? Shockwave and Ratchet on the team with Bumblebee. So it does confirm Autobots and Decepticons are working together against the Legion. That is something that was mentioned in the cutscenes that leaked. Now, I'm going to tell you, the cutscenes actually does show Ratchet in the same med lab with Shockwave, not trusting each other, but working together. And it does show him repairing Slipstream, who gets dragged in. And talking about the Legion, too, and what they're doing. So it does confirm, yes, Autobots and Decepticons are working together. So you'll be able to play as either in the game, which is always a great... having a new enemy is always a great way of accomplishing that, so one side doesn't get left out. And we do see some of the design work here. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not sharing the cutscenes because someone got DMCA'd for that, and I'm not going to take the risk. What I will tell you is that the Soundwave and Starscream that we see in those cutscenes does not match the designs we have here. This is from October 2018, so I have no idea if the cutscene or this is newer. I'm sure a lot of designs have changed since the original development began. But what I will say is this does feel legitimate because there's so much of the design work in the vehicle modes that matches what we've seen from Reactivate. You know, and it matches, you know, the kind of designs we've seen leaked from the game before. So this definitely came from the same place. And I do really like the designs, and we do confirm Starscream, Slipstream, Hot Rod, Soundwave, Sunstreaker, Ironhide, and Windblade for the game. Windblade's kind of taken a falling in recent Transformers media, so it's actually kind of nice to see her back again. Alright, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're looking at the game. A little bit more of the design style that we're going for, even though we do not have any idea how accurate this is. But again, it's nice design work, and at the very least the character should be present. So just take that away and keep your eye out. I'm sure we'll get a lot more about the game not too distant future. If you want to spend a lot of money on a Starscream, ThreeZero has you hooked up. The MDLX Starscream has been announced. The design is officially revealed. Now keep in mind, the MDLX is their smaller action figure line, the one that is still super detailed and articulated, but on a far more affordable scale. I've never actually gotten one. I tried to order one as a Black Friday deal because I saw a site that had them for like $30. Something like some crazy low price. Ordered it, got my order confirmation. Everything seemed to go. They charged me for it. And then they refunded me for it because they actually sold too many. So I still don't know what these are like. but they look like super good, super articulated action figures for Transformers. So hey, good, good. If you like that super like hyper level of detail in your articulated figure, you got it coming. Moving on, if you are a fan of expensive stuff that is not super articulated, one more statue coming out. DST has announced this deluxe PVC diorama for Grimlock, looking really, really nice. Very good representation of the Dinobot Commander. Now, this is not like a super crazy expensive statue that I've shown off on these news roundups lately. No, no, no. This is $125. It stands about a foot tall. So this is about the largest thing I would say you get away with on a desk, or it's like that's like a nice little like bedroom private piece, collector room piece kind of thing. It's a very, very nice looking Grimlock. They didn't go like too ham on the detail, so it's very much in tune with the natural design. He's doing that dark gray chest thing, though he's pulling it off better than the Studio Series figure did, so I'll give him that. But yeah, he looks really nice. I really like it. Still not a statue guy, but for those who want it, one more Grimlock on the way. Oh, we have to talk about this. We'll talk about this very quickly. Funko did announce they're doing new digital retro toy pops. So Mr. Potato Head, Optimus, and Bumblebee, which look fine. It's a nice little mashup. That's not a potato pun. But they're rolling it in with their NFT crap, which usually means you're buying a bunch of digital cards that are absolutely worthless, trying to get a super rare card that you can exchange for one of these. It's a massive, massive scam. You're buying a bunch of digital animated GIFs that are worth absolutely nothing, just to maybe get your hands on one of these 6. And even as you're pulling these fake cards, you don't even know which one you're going to get. It's just, you could be in it for hundreds of dollars before you pull the one thing that gives you like, oh, hey, cool, I get Furby. I was trying for Optimus. I hate these. I absolutely hate these. I hate these with all my heart. I'm telling you. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why this is continuing, but it is, and I hate it. And don't support it. Vote with your wallet. These are not worth it. These are not worth it. Let's move on to something a little bit more that made me happy. And we'll end this off on a different note from me, because we're going to talk a little bit of third party, because Star Toys just showed off their Blitzwing. And it's Star Toys ST01. So I'm assuming this is a new company that just decided, hey, we're going to make the Blitzwing toy. I hope you're fans of the channel. I hope you're fans of the channel, because it feels like this is answering all of my questions, all of my things about, like, I can't find a really perfect Blitzwing toy. Hasbro's always has something wrong with it. They're decent, but they're still flawed. A lot of third-party ones just don't really cut it. There's always one mode or another that's too sacrificed. The robot mode on here looks really, really good. He looks really, really good, well-proportioned. All the tank treads stack up on the back. No surprise there. But they're not crammed into the legs or anything. Boy's got a backpack. He's going to have a backpack. There's no avoiding that. It's a backpack that like takes up the turret at least. So that's a nice little design touch. Super articulated. Looks fantastic. He's doing a rider kick now. So now I really think they've watched me. Tank mode looks fantastic. Like, he's got that cartoon accurate, like, stub nose thing, but it's not, like, super pronounced. It looks like a natural tank. The jet mode looks great. It's got some underkibble to the wings, too, but it's severely minimized, which is the trick to Blitzwing, is trying to minimize just how much of that junk gets crammed underneath the wings, and they've done a really good job of it. My only thing would be, like, if that last panel for the tread could, like, fold up or tuck away, or like even like roll underneath and be like an underside gun, that would be perfect. I think that's like literally the only design touch out of there I would change. Everything else looks fantastic. It looks huge too. Like, it's pretty sizable Blitzwing. The only question I would have is, where do all the colors go? Because with all these prototype grays, it's really hard to tell. The trick to a really good Blitzwing is how much tan is still showing on the jet mode and how much purple is showing on the tank mode. That's what's going to make or break this toy for me. So I really do want to pre-order it. It's actually not that expensive for a big third-party toy. But I'm hesitating. I'm not pulling the trigger until I see a color sample of this and know exactly how the whole thing's going to look, because that's going to be the judgment. And that is going to do it for the news roundup. And man, yeah, here once again, I nailed it. 25 minutes. One of these days I'll learn how to keep this nice and concise. I have too many opinions. I apologize. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you're all caught up with the news now, and I hope you're looking forward to a bunch of stuff that's on the way. So, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.